time for your mind. One time for your mind. One time for your mind. One time for your mind.
Hey everybody. Welcome back to the Strong Friend Check-In podcast. I am your host, Audreyonna Sequale. And if you're listening, you cannot see my host, but if you are watching, there are two of my favorite ladies in the building. So let's go ahead and let them introduce ourselves. So I don't know who wants to go first, but who we have in here tonight?
Go ahead. Okay. I'm Shenice. Oh, wait.
Go ahead, matter. One of y'all introduce
Please do your thing. Go ahead. I'm Shenice. I am also known as Cardi. That's my brand. And I'm in the Cayman Islands right now, so y'all bear with me. Sorry if the accent's too strong.
We love the accent, girl. That's why I have you on here so many times. People love the accent.
I'm going to charge you a fee for that. I didn't know.
Girl!
I'm gonna do it like that, sis.
Point, sis. So who else we got in the building tonight?
I am Hendrix Monae, host of Shit Talk No Fragrance podcast, also a part of the MPN Network that Audreyonna Sequale is under as well.
Yes. Shout out to MPN. Shout out to the network. And listen, y'all, I have my ladies in here tonight because this is a ladies only conversation. Okay. We are going to be discussing a very, very hot topic at the moment. But before we do that, for those of you who are new here, it is time for my segment, Congratulations Are in Order. So what that means is I and my two hosts are going to share a little bit about what's been going good for us in 2020. Even though the whole year is on some bullshit, I'm sure that there's something that's happened that has been pretty good, whether in the last few days, months, or whatever, because what is time now anyways? But if you guys have had anything dope going on lately, I really want to hear about it. So Hendrix, what you got going on in the background of your life?
Well, I just got an opportunity. I might be taking my talents to Atlanta pretty soon.
Oh, word!
You need to get in on a series that is about to start. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't give too much about it, but yes, that opportunity kind of fell into my lap with, networking and knowing certain people. So yeah, I'll be taking my talents to Atlanta pretty soon.
That is really, really awesome. I'm so happy for and proud of you. First of all, shout out for eventually going to a place where I would like to be.
Yes.
But yeah, super awesome. Shenice is going to be on her way back real quick. So we're going to get to her and what's going on in her life in just a second. But, there she is. There's our girl. She's back. Boom. Just like that. So, Shenice, going back to my question, what's been going on for you in your life? What's good down in the Cayman Islands? Oh, wait, we can't hear you.
There we go. Sorry.
There we go.
Technical difficulties. But life has been a little hectic. We are our borders are still closed. So that's been a little
damn, I can't come there.
But I mean, other than that, business has been good. Mental health is back in order.
Ooh,
so that's a lot to celebrate. But I mean, really for me, the business Cardi, that has just been booming the last couple of weeks. So I'm just really grateful for all the support that I've been getting there. And even though I'm tired and stressed, it's all worth it, you know. So I'm not complaining about those blessings, but yeah.
That's good. I'm happy to hear it. I am 100% happy to hear that your mental health is in order. And speaking of, for me, one thing, actually, I have a few things that I would like to congratulate myself on, but, you know, if you know me, I like to make sure that everything is 100% in order. It's been done before I announce it. So I'm going to hold off on something I was going to say, but mental health wise, I have been able to take my therapy sessions down to once a month. Yes. I've gone from literally once a week to once a month. And I really feel like it's because of quarantine. And I know that sounds backwards, right? Because we're all experiencing this crazy ass disease and there's death and disease outside the door and whatnot. But having this time to really sit my ass down somewhere and not having to put up with a lot of bullshit that I used to have to when the world was open, I guess I'll say, has really made a positive change in my life. So it had gotten to the point where, you know, I was going to therapy every week and not really having much to say because not really too much is going on. Not really interacting with people in the ways that I used to. And in some ways, you know, that sucks. But in other ways, I guess it's been good for me. So, you know, those limited sessions, I'm really happy that I've come this far because 2 years ago, it was not like this. So I'm really, really happy about that. And hopefully that announcement I'm holding off on, hopefully I'll be able to tell y'all on the next episode. So stay tuned for that. Okay. So now we've gotten all of that out of the way and we've celebrated each other and all of our, you know, good news that's coming through. We're going to go ahead and just dive right into this conversation. First of all, male listeners, male subscribers, male followers, if you're listening, I am 100% prepared to lose you as a listener, supporter, or subscriber over tonight's episode. My conversation is fueled by Crown and Coke. I am on brown liquor. I do not do brown liquor, so I'm liable to say anything out my mouth on this episode. It might be fun. Who knows? Could be fun. But we're going to get into the hottest topic of the day, which is the Cardi B featuring Megan Thee Stallion song and video, WAP. Okay? We've all seen it. We've all heard it. If you haven't, you've been under a rock. The song has reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. If I'm not mistaken, it's also gone platinum. Views and views on top of views on YouTube. I mean, it's the moment. It's really the moment. And, you know, when I first saw the video, because I watched that first, and I listened to the song second because I was really interested in the visual. I wanted to see what the video would look like. And when I saw it, and there was just so much ass. There was just so much ass that was moving and shaking, and vibrating, and it was there in my face, and I was thankful. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I wanted to see more. You know, I wanted extended footage. I wanted behind the scenes clips. But apparently everybody did not feel the same way. And it only took about 12 hours because my producer is back here laughing his ass off. It only took about 12 hours for the outrage to start. And, you know, I live on Twitter. No, you can't follow me at my personal account. I don't allow that. But, you know, I saw a lot of people enraged, honestly. And I couldn't figure out what the issue was. And then the people who were so angered by this song and video were men.
Yes.
Grow up. They were the man folk.
Look,
girl,
listen,
I got it.
To me, I was just like, all right, all of you just take a back seat, grow up, because, okay, you don't want your daughter, your girlfriend, or whoever acting, dressing like that, talking like that, whatever the case is. But Instagram thoughts that y'all out here liking, tapping away, heart eyes. You send in mixed signals. Pick one.
Exactly.
It's either you support or you don't. Like, it's either you like it or you don't. Like, there's no... And I was just like, girl, I didn't even pay attention to that. Next, please. You do not have kids. Please go and get a vasectomy. Maybe some mom issues there.
Right.
You know? It's a lot of things that I was like...
Yeah.
An uncle starting to really... They was coming over. They starting to really hit you again. Okay.
It was just... I just wasn't expecting that. Hendrix, did you expect for the men to be so up in arms over all this free ass on the internet?
Well, I've realized that a lot of these niggas, these men don't really like coochie, you know. So yeah, I expected it. I realized that too when it comes to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Those women are judged harshly for their content by a lot of men, and these same men are listening to Tupac and all these other people that and hoes and all this other extra stuff. I got into so many Facebook arguments where I had to block a dude because he's fake woke.
Them be the main ones.
And he was like, my daughter can't see this or whatever. I'm like, I know you off of Facebook for real, right? Like, you got to stop being fake woke on Facebook, and I know you out of how you are. Like, cut it out. If your daughter gonna learn anything, she's gonna learn it from you and your hoe. Ain't got nothing to do with Cardi B. So I didn't expect it, but I was ready to tag they behind, Right. And you're mad at WAP because you got tagged. I call it thin ass. So you're sliding out. That's why you don't like it. So I serves with that, but it is what it is. It's the truth. That woke person.
Well.
Sir.
Well.
True.
That's another one that we adding up there with Sketel. Thank you.
Yes, can you tell the people what Sketel is if they don't know? This is some good Cayman slang, okay? And I took it and adopted it. And the person that I call a Sketel, I don't think they really know what it means, but I just be saying it out loud. So what is
on Facebook? I'm coming at you.
A Sketel is like, I don't even know if that's exclusive to Cayman. I think it's more so in the Caribbean, but it's like a little thought, sometimes a little above a thought, the other S word ends with T. And it just be, look at this Sketel. Look at that.
And I want to say this too. Now listen, we don't slut shame over here. Unless it's men.
Yeah.
I mean, let's
men
I'm going to get into what I mean by that in just a little bit with this conversation. But first and foremost, I want to ask y'all, what did y'all think of the song and video?
Girl, I'm a Trina fan. So that was watered down to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big Trina fan, so that was watered down to me. But I love the song. I love the video. That split that Megan Thee Stallion did. I had this. I was like, really, Megan? All that ass? You just gonna love it? I love the video. I absolutely loved it. Like, whatever. Beautiful video. They spent some coins on that. Cardi got a big budget.
Yeah,
coins on that video.
Yeah.
Right?
Aside from just the ass and whatnot, yes, they cut the coin for sis. The budget was definitely there, and you can tell too. What about you?
I liked the video, and usually sometimes I'm like, guys, this is a bit much, but with this, I was like here for it. I love me some Cardi. I love Meg as well, but I don't know a lot of her lyrics like I would Cardi. There's something about Cardi, even though a lot of people don't like her. I like Cardi. And I also like Lil' Kim. So for me, I was just like...
Right, it is what it is.
Way worse. And it was a lot of ass, yes. I was there like... Okay. I don't even remember all of the song. Like, did they play the whole song all the way through? Because all I was looking at was ass. Like
they played the whole song all the way through, child. But the YouTube video has the edited version.
Right.
But like I said, like for me, I wanted to see the visuals. I really did. For me, like I said, aside from the ass, what I really loved about this whole rollout, because I forgot how much of a visual person I am. I'm the girl who would, run home from school to watch 106 & Park, TRL. Like I used to love music videos, and I know that artists still make them, but we're not seeing them the way that we used to. So I was really happy with this rollout, leading up to a video and leading up to a song. So I watched the video first, which had the edited version of the song. And like I said before, you can tell that the budget was really big. It was a really great video, minus Kylie Jenner.
Oh God, I forgot to talk about that part.
Yeah, we gon' ride or whatever. Minus her walking down that hallway.
I forgot.
But the rest of it was so dope. I love that they called in other female rappers. I love they had Suki Hana on there. They had the girl Ruby Rose. Who else did they have? I feel like I'm leaving somebody out. Was it Mulatto? Is Mulatto in the video? I think it's her too. But I love that. I love the sisterhood that was displayed. Of course, I love the ass. I love the hair. The Cardi's like little chain ponytail. I thought that was so dope. I love the animal print. I love the whole thing. And I love the song as well. Now for me, I don't even think that's close to the filthiest song I've ever heard.
No, absolutely.
No,
What Lil' Kim say? I used to be scared of the girl lips. That ain't even, that whole hard album.
Right.
Is way worse than that song, than the WAP song. I keep calling it WAP because
WAP. I guess I'm gonna put this out there for those of you who don't know and who've been sleeping under a rock or whatever, but the song WAP, WAP stands for wet ass pussy. I don't know who doesn't know that by now, but just in case you don't, we don't want you to be lost in the sauce while we're having this conversation. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. And the song is about, having a wet ass pussy.
For some guys, it's whack ass penis.
That good.
Whack ass. Like I said, male listeners, I am so prepared to lose y'all tonight. But anyway,
like Caribbean people that have to come back.
I'm very, very prepared to lose y'all tonight. Our relationship may have come to an end, but we all like the video. We're all grown women. We all have sex. Whether or not we having it right now is another story. We're gonna get to that later. But we're all grown women. We all grown into our own sexuality. But I want to have this conversation because I think it's really important to highlight the fact that these are two Black women, one a Black woman from the South, the other an Afro-Latina, and they're putting their bodies on display. They're making these explicit lyrics, but it's all about their consent. In the song, they're talking about their body parts, what they want to do with them to, another consenting partner. You know what I'm saying? So I don't find anything wrong with it, but it seems like a lot of people do for a reason that we'll get to in a little bit. But what I want to know is, as Black women, did y'all grow up in a sex positive home?
No.
Hendrix said no.
That's why I said before we started recording, I'm probably gonna, if my family ever hear this, it's gonna be some mess. But no, absolutely not. I was told to keep your legs closed, and all the other extra stuff, and no. If I brought up the topic of sex, like my mom found out that I lost my virginity because I had to be taken to the emergency room because I was having pain. That's when we found out that I had cysts on my ovaries. And they had to go in and they had to ask the question of whether or not I was a virgin. And her and my grandmother rest in peace, grandmama, was standing there, and I had to say, okay, I wasn't a virgin. They busted out crying. I was 18.
Oh no!
That's the type of family that I live in, like that I was brought up in. They were like, "Oh my God!"
Oh Lord, that's like funny on one hand, but on the other hand, that's traumatic as fuck because it's just like one, like you said, you were 18, so that means you are a grown woman, and I hope that the sexual encounter was consenting, and if it was, then it's like, wow, this is the reaction I'm going to get as a grown ass woman from my family who, without sex, I would not be here. Yeah, we're going to expand on that a little bit more in a second. But Shenice, what about you? Oh, and you know what?
Oh, sorry.
Aside from, you being, did you grow up in a sex positive home? I wanted to ask because you're from the Caribbean, right? And when I was in high school, I had a really good friend from the Bahamas. And I know, different cultures, different things, but I feel like the Caribbean in itself, right? All of the countries in the Caribbean, I feel from what I see, like maybe there's a little bit more, maybe y'all are a little bit less strict when it comes to, I won't say sex, but sexuality, right? Because I think about, when we see carnivals from different, countries, and we're seeing women in these really beautiful bikinis and, these gorgeous outfits, and there's a lot to show, but it's literally a part of the culture. There's a history behind it. So to me, it looks like people from the Caribbean are more sex positive, but I want to know, how was because you looking like hell no. So yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
and I mean, like you said, all each Caribbean country is different, right? But we all have very similar ties, similar beliefs and cultural beliefs, like we do with African Americans and Black Americans. I prefer to say Black Americans, but I mean, I ain't trying to offend anyone. So when, for me, and Cayman is one of those Christian countries, so everybody is like, carnival is a thing here, and I think that it is normalized when it comes to, or more so normalized when it comes to dancing, because we whine, right? So you're at a young age, you're able to move your waistline and stuff, and I think that's part of the African ancestry and the Africans moved. So for us, carnival and dancing is more so normalized, but a place like Cayman and certain other British territories, we still have a lot of that European, I guess you would say, conservative side, where even some of the traditional dances, one of our traditional dances is similar to the other islands, but ours is a little bit more stiff. So even though we move, we're a little bit more stiff because we're a little bit closer linked with the European conservative side. So, I mean, for me, my mom talked to me about the birds and the bees. When I went in, one day I busted into her bathroom like, "Hey, how come you ain't tell me that the birds and the bees look like that?" We talked about it, and she told me about my body and stuff, and kind of the things that would happen to you when you get older and whatever. But it wasn't that I was out here watching sex scenes on everything. And my mom and my grandparents and stuff, the way that they raised me, I was always a very private child. My mom didn't even know what she was having until she had me, because every appointment that she'd went to, my legs were closed. So I've always been a private child. I still get ready in the bathroom or with my door locked. And it's not that I feel uncomfortable in my house or anything. I just believe that's just how I feel comfortable,
Gotcha.
So even though my mom talked to me about stuff like that, it wasn't that I was, out here sitting down watching the sex scenes with my eyes wide open, you know. So I mean, and I think that it varies from place to place, but my family was strict. You know, sleeping over, you know, you got to wear tights under your dress, which to me that was just comfortable for me. Because sometimes I'd be wild and free like a island baby, all in a tree and shit, you know. But yeah, it was keep your legs closed, that sort of thing. So I think it's very similar. It's just sometimes it could be a little bit more strict.
Yeah.
Ending. Not everyone was like that though.
Yeah. For me, did I grow up in a sex positive household? Fuck no. You know, we are saved and sanctified folks around here. Grew up in church, of course, specifically my uncle's church. We're talking about at least, Shenice, like you said, your mom was able to talk to you about the birds and the bees. I ain't even much get that. And I love my mom down. That is my baby girl. Okay. But I mean, the truth is the truth. I didn't get that conversation at all. I remember when I started my period and I knew what was happening from the white girls at school. I think if they had not had that conversation, I hadn't been in on it, I would have woke up the morning because I got mine overnight. So I woke up. I'm sorry, listeners. This might be a little bit TMI, but this is the shit that women go through. I woke up in the full blood.
Yes.
And I knew when I woke up, I was like, oh, this is my period. Mind you, I was in 4th fucking grade. And
how old are you guys when you're in 4th grade over there?
I was probably like 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was probably like 8. Traumatic ass experience, by the way. Just because I know what's going on, that does not make it okay. But I remember, you know, when I came home from school that day, my mom just kind of printed off something that she found online and gave it to me to read, which at 8 years old, I mean, just because I know what's happening because I overheard some girls talking about it at school, I don't really understand everything that's going on with my reproductive system right now. You know, there were a lot of words in there I did not yet know. I didn't understand. So I'm reading it, but it's like I'm reading gibberish. I don't really know what's going on with my body right now. Right. Yeah. So as far as like sexuality goes, yes, very much keep your legs closed. Very much, you know, if you had a boyfriend, you better be doing the very bare minimum. You know, a lot of Southern Baptist rhetoric, you know.
It's just like
I was not, you know, really talked to about sex. I wasn't talked to about my body. I wasn't talked to about consent. You know, and granted that the conversation around consent is something that's fairly new. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's fairly new, and it's something that we're talking about now, but I didn't get any of that. I didn't get any of it. And so I was kind of left to figure things out myself or figure things out through friends, you know, make my own trial and error. But unfortunately, as well as I feel like my parents, my mom and my dad did, that is something that was definitely left out. And I think for all three of us or for other Black women that can relate, it's something that affects you until you're an adult, unfortunately. So honestly, I know that we're all saying that, you know, we kind of got the whole keep your legs closed, you know, don't be out here thotting and bopping. But if anything at all was said to you about sex and your body, like what was it? Like even just aside from, you know, keep your legs closed, did your parents ever try to have that conversation?
Yeah, my mom did. All the time. I have to tell, like, I probably don't tell her enough, but when I'm talking about it, you know, I have to praise her for the way that she raised me, even though then I thought it was strict and like, oh my God, you hate me, you don't want me to go have fun.
Yeah.
Now I know different, you know.
Right.
But she definitely talked to me about, you know, you're gonna start maturing.
Mm-hmm.
She talked to me about, you know, your period, and she did talk to me about, you know, sex. But I think it was, I don't remember exactly how the conversation went at that point. I do know then at first we kind of termed it like birds and the bees, and it was like,
Yeah.
you know, when you love someone and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of I knew that it meant it was consenting, and
Right.
we had discussed all of this, and as it got older, the conversation matured, but
Mm-hmm.
so the information matured as well.
Right.
But it was just still kind of like, if you get pregnant,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she
Yeah.
did talk to me about things, and it was conversations about, like, I mean, unfortunately, her and my grandma made me watch a lot of Lifetime, so I was extremely like paranoid as a kid. Like, I didn't really,
I
you know,
bet
trust.
Lifetime will do that to you.
I didn't trust men. I didn't. It was just like, and maybe that's where I got like uncomfortable from with like certain people, like strangers and stuff. I was just like,
Yeah.
don't hug me. Like, I mean, I always know.
Right.
Like,
No. Yeah. I get that.
yeah, it like that kind of stuff. It was just like, okay, so you know, the conversations were there, and I guess because I wasn't really affected by any of it, I don't remember so much, but I do know we've had conversations.
Yeah. Yeah. Hendrix, what about you?
No, I can't say that she did. I only had those conversations with my aunt. I had an aunt have an aunt that I'm really close to.
That's
and
good.
I could talk to my auntie about anything. She was gonna keep it 100 with me, like straight no all the time. Now my auntie, absolutely. I got my period my first time. I was at my auntie's house. She with all of that. Talking to her, I was able to talk to her about boys and all of that type of stuff. So that came from my auntie.
Okay.
Not so much. Again, my mom was like super like strict. Like, if you dating, that's cool, but no kiss. I couldn't do anything. So a lot of the stuff that I learned was from me sneaking and learning things. You know, I learned porn. You know, differently.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I feel like a little wallflower because I never snuck and did any of that stuff. My first kiss wasn't until I was like prom night. So I was 16, 17, and that was like my first kiss.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, mine was like, I was maybe like 14. Yeah, I was.
Yeah. I was considered like
older, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember people that I graduated with being like, you never gonna find a man because how you haven't had a kiss yet? How you still like a girl? There's
and look at you now.
Yeah, I was just like,
married. Amen. I had to sneak that in there, of course.
But for me, it was just like, what's the rush? Because I don't like none of these people. I don't like them like that. Like, okay, we could touch hands, but like, I used to do the side church hug. I still do that. I still be like, hugs. Hi guys, good seeing you. Wave,
So for me, right, I guess I would say, well, first of all, like I said, my parents really didn't tell me shit. So I won't say I snuck and learned, but, and this is for my listeners, for my viewers who really like came up back in the day, right? So there used to be this channel called The Box. On The Box, all they did was play music videos. Okay. And when I was younger, I had to be maybe in like second grade. There was a playroom in the house, and the playroom was really like the junk room. There wasn't number bullshit in there, but it had a TV in there. And on that particular TV, like The Box would come in, and sometimes would be real staticky, but sometimes would be pretty clear. I don't know what the deal with that was, but that is where I would go and watch The Box. And so at that time, like I said, I'm like, shit, I could have been like 8 or maybe younger, but This was around the time, shout out to you, Hendrix, that Trina's Pull Over, the video came out. And let me tell y'all something. That video changed my life. I will tell anybody to this day, that video changed my whole life because, and it's so funny because, like I said, I was a child. I had to be about like 7 or 8 years old. But that video changed my life because I'm watching Trina. I'm watching the models in this video. They twerking, throwing ass, but everybody looks like they're having such a good time, right? And even the women in the video look like, I'm doing this, like I'm on camera, I'm shaking my ass, but I'm having fun. This is fun for me. Like I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm like really kind of hearing, you know, I probably can't really process everything that Trina is saying, but from what I'm understanding, this grown woman and these other grown women are having a good time doing this. And it was so different from what I was being told at home, because I'm being told, okay, yeah, you know, you have to be the good girl and, you know, you can't have your legs open. And even at an early age, you know, like I said, I grew up in the church. So I'm 8 years old wearing like slips underneath my dresses and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like old fashioned, old school bullshit, right? So, you know, I'm over here, you know, I'm being this church kid, I'm being good, you know, I'm doing all the things that would make my parents proud. But it's just like, okay, but over here though, these women are doing the complete opposite of that, but they still look like they're having a good time. They still look like they're okay. You know, this woman who's rapping to me, she's rich and she's famous. So what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I stay on this path and be this good girl, this good child, you know, so what almost? Because this other person over here that's doing the exact opposite of what you want me to do, she honestly look like she having more fun. She like she having a better life than me. So what's up? You know? And it's so crazy that at 8 years old, I was in my very, very small, feeble mind was kind of putting this together, but it was just such a difference for me. And it was so interesting to watch. And I'm just like, you know, of course, other videos would come on. They would have, you know, women in it, women shaking their ass. But it was something about that one. It was something about a woman doing it with other women that just translated differently for me. Right. So, like I said, I wasn't brought up in a sex positive household, but like Hendrix said, I wasn't sneaking and watching the box, but like if it came on, I wasn't going to tell nobody I was watching it because it was things like I should not have been watching that. I should not have been watching Trina's pullover video at 8 years old. Should not have been doing that, but I did. And I learned something from it. So, like I said, we're all grown women. You know, we're all having sex now. We've all explored our own sexuality, but aside from your parents, what role does society play in how you explore or express your sexuality? Because even I feel like even if we had completely different stories and we all said, you know, yeah, I grew up in a sex positive home and my parents talked to me about sex, you know, at every age in an appropriate way and I felt comfortable and blah, 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 society can still do a number on you. Right? So I want to know, how has society played a role in how you express yourself sexually?
Hendrix, do you want to go first? Okay.
You go ahead.
All right. For me, like growing up, I had a lot of guy friends as well. And of course, you know, you like, it used to be, oh, you hang out with, you know, these guys or this particular guy, y'all must be sleeping together. But for me, it was just the case of, no, sometimes I like my guy friends because we watch football. You know, we could talk about different things, sometimes the same things as I could with my girlfriends.
Yeah.
But it was never the fact that we would have the same type of like little falling outs that, you know, girls would have. And it was to me sometimes more positive. So sometimes I would hang out with my guy friends a little bit more. And the way that I would hear them talking about girls that, you know, gave head or fellatio for the bougie.
Right. Yes.
And girls that, you know, gave it up easy, and if you had a certain amount of numbers and stuff. And that kind of turned my mind off from, like, so I think that with me, I put guys that I like, once I got to that point that, you know, I was having sex, it was guys that I like, I put them through more of a test, I guess, because it was like, oh, okay, you're gonna go through twice this, because as a girl that is always around guys, and I know what my my guy cousins, how they, you know, interact with women or treat women, it was like, I'm going to know if you're serious about me or not. So, you know, you got guys that be like, oh, you playing. Okay. If you about it, you will still be here a year later, 2 years later, whatever I decide. And for me, that was kind of where I was still very sheltered, I guess you'd say, in a sense, and with like a lot of things that I like. Even now, I still feel that you know, my boyfriend is more experienced than me sometimes, because I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it was always like those questions there that I don't consider myself like a very experienced person. I'm trying to be, and I always wanted to be the type of person that I would want. So for me, it was like, I'm not going to want to be someone that has, like, with someone that has 8 billion people. That's a big exaggeration, but has been, you know, around the whole island 2 times and back. And then you have like, everyone knows everything about you, who you've been with in the drama, all that. So I was very like selective, and I just never really, like, all that stuff played a role, because I heard everything that everyone was talking about. And I guess in a lot of senses, what I would see on TV sometimes gave me more of a liberal impression. Yes. Even when it came to like the movies with all the successful Black actresses, they were who I aspired to be, like the ones that were professionals. They wore their suits, you know, had their hair relaxed, but they came home to these fine men. Some of them, let's be real, had 2-3 men in a movie. And it was like, oh, I could be successful, have my fun with, you know, a guy and whatever. But in real life, I was like, okay, I don't want to be hurt or tarnished, so I'm gonna take my time, you know. And it was like the same thing. You saw one thing, but then it was kind of, you know, feelings and what I guess your immediate real life family and friends would tell you that they would change your mind.
I really like that you said that. And from what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but it sounds like there may have been a life that you wanted to live, but then felt like you couldn't because of, you know, being around these guys and your guy friends and them, you know, kind of talking about women who they, I guess, maybe thought were unworthy, or because, you know, they're more sexually liberal, they've, you know, it's given them a bad name.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And that's so much of why I want to have this conversation, because I hate that for us, right? And it's a woman thing, right? You know, Black women experience it. I feel like other women of color experience it. And for me, if I were to answer this question, I really feel like my sexuality was stifled for a while. I really feel like it was, because when you're coming up and you're in junior high or you're in high school, literally, now I don't know about now because these kids on some other shit, but back in my day, the worst thing that could happen to you was you being called a hoe. That was literally about the worst thing that can happen to you. You know, you could be anything else, okay? But if you got labeled a hoe, you are done.
Right.
And it would be girls that probably did the least with guys, probably didn't even go all the way, but maybe you were just too friendly. Maybe you just smile in too many guys' face. You know, maybe you're just around too many men. Maybe you just have too many guy friends. And
Maybe because niggas just lie. They just be lying. So then you
right,
have a bad name for people. Like I've heard that about so many people. And it, you know, like you said, because you smiled or something, you think people believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too, like you're saying, like it was such an easy rumor to take and run with. And what I hate from the pit of my soul is that it wasn't just the guys. Women were doing this to each other.
Thank you.
You got
to get there. It's not just the men, it's these women. Thank you.
Yeah.
I personally, with me coming up the way that I did, I was afraid of that label. And I didn't get into exploring my sexuality really until I hit like 30. 35 now. So only 5 years. I don't say 5 years, but till I hit like 30 to where I was just like, you know what? If I see him and I feel like I want to smash or whatever,
I'm not 30.
I'm not going to even like worry about it. Like now it's, you know, it's this sex positive type of environment. You know, even though I still got those few people that are still on that old biblical, and Jezebel type stuff. But early in my years, until I hit about 30, it was kind of like I cared about what people thought about me. I cared about what my mom thought about me. And just like Shenice, I heard all the guys. I have a lot of guy cousins and uncles, and that's all they talked about. On their mouths, something serious, and it was like I would be damned if somebody talk about me like that. Once I hit that 30, I was like, look, I don't know if this is the peak or whatever for women.
They say it is. So I'm waiting till I turn 30. I got 2 more years. Okay. I don't know.
But I so people call it a whole phase. I don't like to call it a whole phase. I'm single. I was single. And that time, I'm just like, don't call me no hoe. I'm single. I'm protecting myself. And if I feel like, okay, all of y'all ain't relationship material, so I don't want to get in a relationship with y'all. Some of y'all got good D. So let me test it out and see what it be about. And that's what it was. But wow, society. Okay, is she gonna be a hoe? She gonna be a thigh? And I even got it from family members. Like they would see me go on dates with people and be like, "You a hoe? What do you mean? I ain't even sleeping with this." Hey, you know. But when I hit,
I have heard that. Listen, when I tell you, I am patiently waiting on 30. Okay, let's try and ramp this up in these last 2 years. But you know, I agree with that.
It goes all the way down from there. Don't do it. I'm kidding. It doesn't.
You know, it was about 2 years, from like 30 to 32, where I was just like, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. And I did, and I didn't care. Like, you know, and I'm sure that there have been conversations or whatever, but whatever, my nigga, you know, I still smashed, whatever you want to call me. I still smashed, whatever. I don't care. Make you. You know, so
now for me, say whole phase, and you know what? I like calling it a whole phase, right? Because I feel like hoe is empowering. Like, yes, I did that. Yes,
I know what I want.
I did it, and I did what I wanted to, and I have no regrets, right? So I feel like I went through my whole phase in college, and it was short and kind of sweet, but you know, as far as like virginity goes, which honestly, that's like a whole nother topic we don't even got time for. But as far as virginity goes, I lost my virginity at 19. I was in college. I lost it to my first serious boyfriend. And once we broke up, I was just like, I'm out here. I'm finna do what I want to do. And, you know, the guys that got the benefit of the whole phase, they cool or whatever. But I really value that time in my life because, like you were saying, Hendrix, it was a time where I really didn't give a fuck what people thought about me. Whereas, you know, high school, I feel like in high school and even in college, you are in such a bubble. And I mean, I guess maybe I can't speak to everybody's college experience, but for me, I went to a predominantly white institution here in Jacksonville. And even though I went to a PWI, I made it an HBU for myself. Okay. So I stayed around all the Black people, all the niggas. So that was already a small community. And because it was so small, you know, some of those high school thoughts about, you know, not wanting to be labeled and not wanting my name out there, you know, that did still kind of stick with me. But at the same time, I was like, well, shit, I'm grown. You know, I'm here, I'm in college, I'm making my good grades, I'm paying my tuition, ain't nobody else paying for this dorm, you know, I'm gonna be in here doing what I want to do. And so, you know, I had a good time. And I guess I would say that was the start of kind of exploring my sexuality, because that was something I had never done before. Like I just said, I lost my virginity in college. So like, this is me, I guess, in a way, making up for all of that lost time. And I hate that I lost that time because I was so worried about what other people would think. Right?
Yeah.
I had a boyfriend in high school that I really, really liked. You know, I could have lost my virginity then, but I was so concerned of, you know, is he going to tell anybody? You know, is this going to be locker room talk, like they call it? You know, is this going to be around the school? And I didn't want that. Want that. But, you know, being 19 and when I graduated college, when I was 20, 23, 20, shit, I don't know. But being a grown ass woman, that didn't matter to me as much anymore. So I felt more free to, you know, experiment and have those sexual relations with other people, without, I guess, maybe so much of that labeling going on. And, you know, like I said, I really hate that women did it to each other, because I was guilty of it, right? The same way that I was worried about what people would think about me in high school, I'm also the same person saying, so-and-so a hoe. She a hoe. Did you hear she did this, that, and the third with somebody? I'm the one perpetuating this bullshit, you know? And I understand that we're all young. We don't really understand what sex positivity is. You know, we're just regurgitating the same shit we were taught, you know?
Yeah.
Even though it's not beneficial for me or the person that I'm talking about, right? Like, it's not beneficial for us as women, but you're so caught up in patriarchy that you're perpetuating the bullshit on your own. And so, you know, I look back on my time, you know, in high school, some in college, and I just think about, you know, man, so-and-so was really out here living her life, and you judged her for that. You did. And it's like, you know I was young. I know I didn't know any better, but I think about those girls, those women now, and I just applaud them, honestly, because it's like, you know, even at an early age, you know, hopefully, you know, it was coming from a place of, you know, I want to do this, you know, this is my body, these are my choices. You know, I hope that was the mind frame, because even when you're young, you know, sometimes you get pressured into things. But I hope that they were of the mindset of, this is me, this is my body, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it. Because if so, I admire that. I admire that 100%, and I'm glad they were able to reach that point before the rest of us were, so that we wouldn't be, you know, having these conversations that we having right now.
I ain't even gonna lie. Some of them I still be judging a little bit, you know. It's
tell the truth, sis. Tell the truth.
We was really young, you know. Some people I've heard got some diseases and stuff, and I was like,
oh no, y'all be safe, y'all. Please be safe. Whatever you're doing,
and say, I wish that's why. Like, that's kind of why I wish that the conversation in households and in society was like, people were more comfortable with having those conversations, because I think and being more comfortable having the conversation of, you know, it is okay to use protection. Like, it is not, you know, gonna make you less of a person or all this stuff, because and talking, normalizing getting tested once you're of that age that you are having, sex and stuff, because back then, yes, good for, some people, but they were getting up there in numbers, and a lot of people weren't being smart about it. And I think that's where some of the judgment came in from. But I guess then a lot of people weren't thinking about the consequences of it either. It was just, the act. And then, so.
I'm really glad that you brought that up as far as kind of like the sex education goes, right? Because me and Hendrix, you're from Jacksonville, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah. So we're both, two Black Southern women. And if you know anything about the South with sex and sex education, what they try to teach in schools, it's really all or nothing. Either you gonna be out here wilding or you're gonna be abstinent. Like there's literally no in between, and the information is not there.
Yeah.
And it's not just perpetuated by the schools, it's perpetuated, by your family. So, like we're sitting here saying we're not getting adequate sex education. So when you get out into the world, or you feel like, you want to begin I call it your sexual career or whatever, you want to start exploring your sexuality
endeavors.
Exactly. A lot of us are left with inadequate information.
Yes.
And so that's how, pregnancy may happen or diseases may happen. It's less of, okay, you're at this age, you're feeling these feelings, you want to act on them. Here are the ways to be safe, and more of just don't do it. Just don't do it. I don't know if anybody who's watching or listening has ever seen Mean Girls, but that scene in Mean Girls where they're having sex education and the gym teacher is teaching it. He's like, don't have sex or you will die. And he has like this little the blackboard up, and it's got like chlamydia, gonorrhea on it. He's like, if you have sex, you will get chlamydia, you will get gonorrhea, you will get this. And it's just like it's funny, like it was meant for comedy, but it's just like, no, that's really like what we're taught. That's really what we're taught. And you wonder why people aren't taking the care of themselves and their bodies, or knowing themselves and their bodies the way they should, because we being preached to with shit like this.
Right.
There is no happy medium. There is no real information.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think for that, I don't know, maybe that's the historian in me, but I tie sexuality and mental health back to slavery. Those are things that we were, we had all of those things robbed from us. The sexual freedom, the mental freedom, all of these things were robbed from us. And for those of you that, don't know anything about the Caribbean, we had slavery too, y'all.
Yeah.
The N-word is not exclusive to America. So you heard me say it. That's because it's happened in the Caribbean too. Slavery, all of it. So, and you can see these trends: mental health, sexuality. We talk about things like the R. Kelly, surviving R. Kelly, the documentaries and stuff, and how many people have experienced this, or the I was the age on like on Twitter and stuff, where you saw people I was the age. Those stories that just broke your heart, because you have so many girls, and these conversations are not had. You have boys, men, that the conversations are not had, and there's so much negative stigma with both mental health and sexuality that's why people keep things closeted. And it's not just about, same sex or anything. It is just Black people in general, because Caribbean people, most of us are Black. So that's a trend. The church thing, that's the trend. And we just keep all of it closeted, and we have to break those cycles. Like for me, I'm glad that my mom talked to me about it, and she's with me, because to me, like she always told me, what I am afraid to tell you, someone will gladly show you. And
I like that.
He always talked about when it came to sex, drugs, any of that. It was, if I don't talk to you about it, someone is going to show you, and you're going to be so naive to the different things that are happening. And while it wasn't like, oh, you can sit down and be around crackheads or any of that stuff, it was, these are real things. You have to understand it. So I respect her for that, especially as a single parent. That's not easy to do. And the places that we come from, you expect that to come from people that are more privileged. And of course it doesn't, because they're privileged. It won't affect their child, they think, So to me, it's all about breaking those cycles. Those two things go hand in hand a lot of times. And
Absolutely.
I say slavery. We still need, reparations for this.
We do. We absolutely do. Because I 100% agree, because so many people are, and we're going to get to it a little bit later, try and finish up the question, and we can really get into everything that has to deal with this whole video and the reason why there's so much outrage. But people have not been made comfortable in their own skin. We have not been spoken to about our sexuality in ways that are productive. And so even though we think we live in this liberal society, people are very much conservative at their core. And we're seeing that kind of play out in real time. And I feel like there's a conflict there. I feel like there's definitely an internal conflict to where, we're having people, and I keep saying people because it is men and women. I think women definitely take the brunt of it, but there's men and women who are maybe curious about certain things, or, they've been wanting to explore their sexuality and they've been made to feel like they can't. So my next question, I'm gonna start with Hendrix for this one. When did you become comfortable with your sexuality, and how did you become more comfortable?
I wouldn't say I'm completely comfortable now with my sexuality. I kind of hide a lot about myself still, because, one, I hide a lot about myself because, I have a son and I don't want, the shit to go back to him.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Whatever. But I would say I became a little bit freer at the age of 30. A little bit freer in what I like, what I'm into. I talk about it like a lot now. I don't know if you guys heard my episode with the ladies, but I talk about it a lot now, like what I'm into and everything like that. So 30 maybe.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what I like. This is what I'm
I guess I would ask you to kind of piggyback off my question. Do you think that if you had been raised a little bit differently, or if society was more less conservative than it is, do you think that you would have come into that comfortability at an earlier age?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wouldn't have cared too much what people thought. I think it would probably been like in my 20s, because I've been having these whatever feelings or whatever for like forever. I didn't explore them because I didn't want to be looked at a certain type of way.
Right.
So yes, if I would have been talked to a little bit more, I probably would have lost my virginity at a later age. If I'd had a little bit more conversation about it. I wouldn't have waited until 30 to really get into like really knowing my body, exploring my needs. It'd have been way earlier.
Okay. How about you, Shenice?
I would agree with her on a lot of things. Like, I don't think that I'm completely comfortable either. And I don't know if that's just because how I've always been, or if it's the same thing, kind of like, societal. But summer 16, I was 26.
Summer 16, that was a good summer. That was
summer. Epic. And that was the year before, I met Bay, got into a serious relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Marquis, shout out for you for taming the lion. You know, for me, that was, and I think it might be a little bit before that. I call it the rebel floats era. That's when I started to get a little bit more comfortable and just kind of living more in my, oh, okay, I know I got body. Okay.
Yeah.
I still didn't like, I've never done carnival in, you know, costume because, and it varies from place to place. Like some islands, the bigger you are, the better.
Yeah.
My island is kind of like America. It's kind of like, oh, you know, big butt.
Yeah, that British shit is real. Yeah, that colonization.
Shape, you know. And then when I thought I was fat, I had the shape, but for me, I don't know. There was, okay, I guess you'd say a friend that we let curiosity, you know, kill the cat, literally, and we, you know, that was summer 16, and I mean,
I know that's
for
right.
me, it was just like, okay, I don't take that back, you know, and I think that all of that kind of shaped me for like who I'm with now, and it's like, okay, I can be a little bit more positive. But if Hendrix over there talking about it gets, you know, better at 30, then
girl, listen,
welcome, Marquis.
I have heard so many women.
You beyond.
I just turned 30.
Turned like, up. Yeah,
I have heard so many women say that. I
heard 30s.
I don't want to just put it out there because I need it to be confirmed. But I think like women do reach their sexual peak in their 30s because I have heard so many women say that.
Yeah, I've
so
heard 40s
I'm waiting. I am waiting.
40s as well. So I'm kind of like, baby.
You're gonna love it. It's gonna be fun.
All right, I'm excited. Very excited.
Well, you know, I'm in a great relationship right now, so I'm just gonna, you know, tell him, Mr. Sir, okay, Mr. Sir, please make sure that when we reach that extraordinary, you know, 30s jam, I'm gonna need a round of applause. Need you to make special, you know, shit. Can we normalize that? Damn, kind of present. It's not a push present, but it's a
hold on, it's this coming.
So, I mean, for me, I'm still not like that comfortable yet. There's a lot of things that I'm like,
yeah,
I'm cool with being, you know, labeled as vanilla sex type of thing or whatever the case is. I'm fine with that.
The crazy thing is, though, I still call myself vanilla compared to my friends and the conversations that I've had. Even everything that I've done and that I'm into, I still call myself vanilla. I feel like I have
so do I.
More to experience.
Even the wild shit
I do, you know. So I'm still vanilla compared to the stories I've heard.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I agree with that because even things that I consider to be wild, I'm like compared to my friends or something.
Yeah,
mom.
Yeah, I be feeling real vanilla around here.
Right.
And I you know, I wish that I wasn't. I really wish that I wasn't because for me, right? I think I've told my listeners that I'm a really big fan of the podcast Horrible Decisions and Cocktails and them hoes. And they ain't gonna mind how I call them hoes because they call themselves hoes. Those hoes are about it.
Story
about it. And they sound like they have fun and they sound like they're living life.
Right.
Okay. Like they sound like they're happy. Right. And I be following them on Instagram and they look like they're happy too. And
teach me your ways.
Right. Teach me your ways. That's why I'm following you. Write a book, ho. But for me, it's been a journey. It's really been a journey.
Yeah.
And I say that because, you know, I already started later in life, you know, with losing my virginity. I already got a later start. And it's just like from that situation at 19 to now I'm 28, It's been a lot of learning. It's been a lot of trial and error. But what I will say, and this is something that makes me feel powerful as shit, right? Makes me feel super powerful. So what you listeners and viewers don't know is that right now I'm celibate. Now I've been celibate since December. So all year I've been celibate. It's been like 8 months and some days, right? And the reason for that is because, well, one, it's death and disease. Like I said, death and disease is at our door. So I don't want to be dealing with it right now. We all need to be masked up. We all need to be 6 feet apart from each other because Florida is wilding with the COVID cases. But that's another conversation. But
is technically
why I decided to be celibate is because I wanted to take full control of my body. Now, that's not saying that the experiences that I've had in the past weren't consensual, because they were. But I just felt like the men that I was dating, the men that I were having sex with, weren't really that guy, if that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like you can have dating relationships, you can have sexual relationships with people who really do right by you, right? And I personally felt like I wasn't getting that from my partners.
Yeah. No.
So with that being said, I closed up shop. I was like, you know what? I don't really feel like being part of this anymore. And mind you, I tell anybody, if you are looking for a girl that wants to smash and go on about her business, I'm the one. Okay? I don't know if it's because I'm an Aquarius and we already don't do feelings. We already don't do attachment. But if...
Hendrix, are you an Aquarius too?
No, I'm a Libra, but me too. I don't want all of y'all.
Right. Like you said earlier, some of y'all are not boyfriend material. Some of y'all are just good for the dick. And I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. As long as you treat me with respect, you know, like I'm still going to treat you with respect as a human being. But if you are looking for a no strings attached type of relationship, when I tell you I'm the one, I play my part. I'm not looking for nothing extra.
I'm not going to act like I know you and all that extra shit in the club.
Right. We can walk around.
I feel that. And they say that women cannot do that. And that is
not true.
In my experience, it has been the men that have been wanting the relationships from that. I got in a whole relationship because a nigga couldn't handle that.
I'm telling you, my male best friend and I, we were sitting down having a conversation because we had just gotten back from college for the summer. And we were just like, okay, you know, what's the tea? What's good? And my phone starts vibrating, and that put on silent is lighting up. And he's like, damn, who blowing up your phone like that? And I was like, child, don't worry about it. And it got to the point where it was so annoying. He was like, who the fuck is that? So I told him, and he was just like, well, what kind of voodoo is that? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know what to say about that. But it was just kind of in that phase where, you know, it was, because I had done like the same thing, gone like celibate for a 4-year period. And it was like, I don't want to mindlessly and soullessly just give it out there.
Yeah.
So I'm a lock shop, but
it be the men, because we ain't gonna talk about how somebody blocked me after I was done with the situation. We don't have to do that. We don't gotta have that conversation. If you're good, you probably not, because you probably blocked my blog page. I mean, my podcast page too. Shit, I don't know, but it's usually the men who can't take it. But when I say I'm that girl, I'm the one.
I'm not that person. I'll cry. I'll be like, I definitely am not the person anymore.
I'm not the one.
Talk for them stories, but
okay,
yeah.
And you know, I give Aquarius is a lot, but it was an Aquarius that taught me everything I know.
I'm telling you,
and that is why I don't like y'all to this day. a loop, be crazy as hell because he taught me everything that
Thank God.
I'm
Someone else backed me
sorry
up
that
on
you had to
Aquarius
be on
being
the receiving
crazy.
end of that experience. But I'm telling you, we listen. If
Look.
you looking for that person, no strings attached, I'm sis. She is me.
Not
But
even to a
with
Scorpio
that being
to
said,
be that person.
I was always
Scorpios are
the
not.
person to just kind of like, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know, this nigga fine. He's an itch that I need to scratch. I'm gonna scratch that itch, okay? But it came to a point where it seemed like some things just weren't reciprocal, and I'm not really. How can I say this? I got tired of, I guess, like Shenice said, you know, just kind of mindlessly fucking people. It's cool. Like, it's a cool, I call it my superpower because everybody's not able to do it. Some people try
Right.
to do these casual sexual relationships and
they
not
get
everybody is equipped to do
Yeah.
that. And it's fine. That's not an indictment against you. You know, you just feel a little bit deeper than I do, which is probably a good thing. But for me, I was like, you know, this isn't really what I'm looking for, because if I was honest with myself, I would like to be in a relationship with someone, or at least, because I was having this conversation earlier with Pete, my producer, because we always be talking, but the relationships that I was having with men, I don't know, it just, there was nothing there. There was just nothing there.
And it's a companionship. Like, if it's a good companionship.
Yeah.
You don't mind.
Yeah. And I feel like that was missing, because I don't mind companionship. You know, we can, you know, have this casual relationship. We can date other people, but I just like a little, I want now at this, in this time of my life, I want a little bit more than that. And that's not to say that the next person I have sex with has to be my man or whatever, but I just have to feel like the relationship is less than superficial.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Am I making sense? I know I'm on.
You are.
Even though I had that moment from like 30 to 32, I'm at the point now where I don't get off on just the casual stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so I get it. I get it. I kind of
at
a particular point. So I absolutely get it.
Yeah. It's just something I was kind of over with. The last guy that I had sex with in December, shout out to you if you listening. You a real one. But it was great. It was cool, everything. But it was just like, after that, I was like, nothing is going to come of this. Like, absolutely nothing will come of this. And you know that that's not what you want. You know that's not what you want. Y'all aren't even going to be dating after this, because one, he lives in a different city. So that's really number one. But even if it was somebody who lived here in Jacksonville with me, that's just not what I'm into right now. That's just not where I want to take things. You know, if we're going to date, like I said, let's let it be, you know, a situation where, you know, we're really dating. We're really trying to see what's going to become of this. You know, even if something doesn't, even if the timing is wrong, even if, you know, somewhere in the compatibility we're off somewhere, at least we can say that we really gave an honest effort and we tried. And I just feel like that's not something I was doing with past partners. So I was like, well, until I find somebody that I feel that way with, let's just close up shop. Let's just, you know, dead it for right now. And it's been cool. It's been good. I guess maybe because, you know, we're in a pandemic right now, that's like the cherry on top. So I don't get like too lonely, because whenever I think about, you know, ooh, let me call so-and-so, it's like, ooh, but do so-and-so have the Rona? Did so-and-so do the little nose swab yet? Like, before I call and say, let me come over, I need to see them COVID test results, because I'm not taking no chances. So I don't know, maybe that's like the bonus in all of this, but yeah, I have closed up shop for 2020 and it's been cool. It's been really, really good. There's no distractions. There's no, you know, bullshit. I'm just doing me and living life. So it's been cool. So moving on and getting out of my business. Is there anything or anyone, because sometimes it's your own people, is there anything or anyone that keeps you from being as comfortable in your sexuality as you could be?
Oh yeah. Like, and I'm gonna put this on out here. I have 2 OnlyFans accounts.
Go ahead.
2.
Wait, hold on. Say that one more time?
I have 2 OnlyFans accounts, okay? And
So,
you follow one of the Twitter accounts.
accounts.
One of the Twitter accounts. But I don't put
No.
one of the accounts, you don't know about that one, Audie, but one of the accounts, I don't put it too much out there because I have my son and I don't want him to.
Yeah.
And they pulling me on the goddamn internet. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't know it's me because it's like, you know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't know it's me.
Yeah.
But my son is like the main reason that I don't really go out here and be in these streets like I could.
I think that's
because of my mom as well. My mom is like super, I would say, judgmental. So certain things she would be like, what in the hell? We've had a conversation before, and you remember I mentioned earlier about, being called a hoe from dating. That was my mom. So it's just like, I'm just going out on dates. I'm not even sleeping with these people. So I can only imagine if I really did everything that I really want to try and it's out there, I would be judged something serious. So my mom and my son, they kind of keep me a little in the closet a little bit. Not in the closet like that, but in the closet a little bit.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you then, because moms, at the end of the day, you grown, and mama just gonna have to accept that you grown. Yeah. But with kids, right? And I want to open, this part of the conversation up. So, for example, one of the only times I can ever defend Kim Kardashian is when people come at her for being the sexual person as she is, that we met her as, and her having children. I understand, I am not a mother, but I do understand that mothers tend to want to keep that area of their life away from their kids.
Right.
But do you think that your son or any child, could benefit from, I'm not saying log, your young man into your OnlyFans account and show him what's going on, but do you think that he could benefit from, seeing and knowing that his mom is sexually positive? Like I said, don't let him see what you're doing, but just to know that, like, if I have questions, if there's something that I need to know, my mom is going to be able to be there and answer because she's been there. She's done that. It seems like, from our first question about being brought up in a sex positive household, it seems like all 3 of us were lacking that. We were kind of talking about our moms and what they did or they didn't do. But I know for me, I didn't see my mom even being sexual, right? Because one, my parents were not together. So that's number 1. Number 2, my mom really didn't date when I was a kid. And I hate that for her. I hate that for her because I always encouraged her to do it. But I feel like she was putting motherhood, above some of her happiness. I never liked that for her. So do you think that there could be some benefit of you being maybe a little bit more openly sexual to let your son see that side of you and to see that in a woman and know that it's okay?
Well, I parent different anyway. How I was brought up. I'm super open with my son. I apologize to my son. We can talk about anything. I try to make sure that he knows that whatever you feel like is on your heart, you want to talk to mommy about, you can talk to mommy about whatever you feel like you need to. And my son has seen me date. My son has caught me in the act, unfortunately.
Oh no!
This year, actually.
Oh no!
He was upstairs, we were downstairs, but it's holding him. We got to get to the story. But my son has caught me in the act, so he knows, you know, he doesn't get everything that was going on, but he's seen mommy in the act. So I'm not my mom. I'm not, you know, my family. And I've tried to make sure that my son knows that he can talk to me about anything. If he wanted to have a conversation that day about what he saw, we could have sat down on the couch and had that conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't ever want him to grow up and feel like he has to be all in the closet and sneaking to do stuff. Because that's not the way to go. That's what I had to do. And that's the way to go. And I had to learn about sex and my body somewhere else when I should have been having conversations with my mom.
Yeah. Maybe men would respect women more if those conversations, or if they've seen it, because it's not, you know, it's kind of like, what's that big event that was in Atlanta all those years ago? Huh?
Freak.
Yes.
The Freaknik.
Yeah. You remember them pulling up pictures and being like, Mom, what?
Exactly.
And it's kind of like, okay, maybe men today wouldn't be so judgmental if they kind of remembered, like, that's also like the conversation with, I don't want to date a mom, someone that's already a mom, because, you know, she got kids already. But your mom, you got a stepdad. She was single at some point too. You know, you never had your other siblings, or you would have never, like, my mom is married, and I mean, the life she had with, or has, whatever, with my stepdad, my dad, he could never. And I mean, it's just normalizing a lot of those things. I mean, I don't care if my mom would date or not. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't want to see none of that stuff, because that's just how I am. And I'm just like, even to me, like, I'm very private, so to speak. So I would be, you know, this is a little awkward, but other than that, well, girl, do what you want to do. If you want to have do that. You know, y'all might be so miserable if y'all had whole phases too.
When you mentioned this thing and with guys calling women hoes, now my thing is that I say to them all the time, your mama was the best hoe at Freaknik. That shit was just on VHS and we can't see it right now. Your mama, your grandmama was at the juke joint with little Larry there with them thick ass stockings rolled up, thotting too. So that they was back
in
there.
The back of every Cadillac. You hear me?
With the ability
in the back of every Cadillac.
They damn things too. This shit just ain't on Twitter right now. On Twitter. And if I look back
that right there,
I'm sure I see your mama out there on the hood of the car with a cootie pop out.
So that's right there.
So there's your mama in the video compilation on Pornhub of Freaknik from the years 97 to 2002. Out there.
Listen, that right there, social media. The difference is, and that's with a lot of things. It's not that's like police brutality. These things aren't new.
Right.
So, you know, being a hoe isn't new. It's just that we're seeing it more. That's all this stuff is not new. We just seeing it more. Absolutely. And I always, like, for me, I think it's the mixed messages. You know, Mr. Surf, you gonna like, you know, these thought pictures, but you don't want me to post. Thankfully, you know, shout out to B for being, you know, my biggest cheerleader when it comes to, you know, being sexual. He'd be like, girl, if you want to post a thought picture, do that. Like, you know.
Because he probably took it.
Right, he probably did. But like, I'm just not comfortable with a lot of things. And that's just for my own personal reasons. Like, I never really took pics like that or nothing. You know,
well, let me ask you, do you, like, is there anything or anyone that's preventing you, you know, from being that person?
Myself, because I'm at that point, like, very much so, like, Hendrix, like, yo, I'm me. This is what, you know what? You're going to take what you're going to get. When it comes to the talk of, you know, sexuality or anything else, as long as I'm a good person, like, I don't steal, I don't rob, but that's the same thing. But I don't do, you know, hard drugs or period, whatever you want to call them. And I'm a good person. I give back. You know, that's all that matters to me when it comes to things. You know, those conversations that come up about same sex and what kids that they adopt see. I would rather have two very loving parents or one loving parent than to have, you know, a heterosexual unit that hate each other and grow me up in a negative environment. So for me, as long as you're a good person, I really don't care what you do with your body and whatnot, as long as you ain't trying to throw it on my man or something, because
that part, that's important.
But
I know that's right.
Like other than that, like it's just personal things for me. Like okay, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that I like, personal reasons that I don't believe in branching out a little more.
Yeah.
But B is very supportive of a lot of that stuff. He'd be like, okay, girl, like what you want to do? You want to you want to go do a boudoir shoot? You want to post it on the, like, you know,
that would be fire. I'm gonna just put that out there. I would love to see it. I think y'all should do that. I'm gonna just scoot that out there in the universe to you, sis.
Loading when the summer body loads, which is what that WAP, whatever you want to say, video did. I was like, okay. I mean, get back to the gym, get some time fine, so I can go to the circle on vacation. Because that's to me is like having people that support you in doing whatever it is that you want.
Yeah,
that's all that really matters. As long as you're comfortable. Shit, if your significant other doesn't like it either, you sleep good at night. You say, look, this picture only got 10 likes, but I love the fuck out of that picture.
Right.
That's
you gotta be comfortable in your own skin. And I think, to answer my own question, is there anything or anyone preventing me from, I guess, being as sexual as I can? I'm gonna say yes. I don't think that person is myself. I don't think it's me, but I think that person is society, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing, and it's so funny because I was going to make an Instagram post about this, and I probably still will, but I don't know. It's something about when you are a mental health and wellness influencer, quote unquote, and I think people expect for you to be a certain thing or a certain way or have a certain look. And I'm not doing that. Straight up, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't know if people expect for me to come with my, Badu head wrap and my very earthy attire. Like, no, I'm from Duval County, 904, born and raised. Like, I'm ghetto.
I know.
Sorry, I am. Like, I know that
it shouldn't even. I saw a tweet about this today. It was like, we got to stop referring to, like things about Black women as ghetto. Yeah. Like, I know it's ghetto, but look, I am all here for all of the eccentric Afro looks. So shit, you could do that, but throw that ass in the circle too, sis.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like, Duval born and raised, so I don't give a fuck, you've been to predominantly white schools all your life. Like, no, bitch, I'm ghetto. Like, I'm poor. You know what I'm saying? Like I have been, like, I'm from the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think when people think about what a mental health or a wellness influencer looks like, she's very professional, and like I said, she has her head wrap on, and she's gonna tell you about the universe and how to manifest. And yeah, cool, I'm gonna tell you about how I do it, but I'm gonna probably do it with my bamboo earrings and my coochie cutters.
Black influencers in general, it does not matter what exactly you're influencing, but your genre is, it is exactly, we have to be in this cookie cutter and perfect.
Yeah.
And it is no ma'am. Because when I'm ready, maybe that's why I like Jacksonville so much, because when I'm ready, I'm gonna be right up in there. I mean, I don't know all the songs, you know. I'm gonna need you to get on that for me, because you and Marquise be slipping on this. You know, I be over there like, damn, like I feel it, but I don't know these words. And when you look, I can get real professional and be, you know, Miss Politics. But at the same time, I'm gonna still curse and be like, that's my fucking dumb idea, government.
Exactly.
Get with it.
I just think, like you're saying, it's not just me, it's not just you, it's Black women, period. And it's just keeping us inside of this box. And I'm not conforming to anybody's box. I'm too many different things. I have too many different interests. Like, I'm like a billion different people, like, made into one. I can't be put into any box for you. And I'm so sorry if you have labeled me as this one thing, if you have put me on this one pedestal, because that's not going to work for me. Like Hendrix said, she got her 2 OnlyFans accounts. Baby, I've been waiting to make one. Been waiting, okay? I need this extra cash. It is a pandemic. I need some more income. And so why would not I start an OnlyFans page? Shout out to Mr. Handsome, as he called himself on my episode, Big Guy Winter, who was my guest. He's a guy who has an OnlyFans page.
Nice.
I mean, he's doing very well for himself, but, you know, men are horny. And so they going to definitely pay to see my black ass shaking some black ass. So why would I not capitalize off this? You know what I'm saying? But it's because of society, and because I know that when people go to my Instagram, like, okay, they see certain things. Oh, you know, I'm the blogger, I'm the podcaster, I'm the mental health girl. You know, sometimes I'm the fashion girl. You know, I can do that too, but they're not really seeing sex. Like, I don't want to call them the IG thoughts. I guess I'll call them the IG models or whatever. I'm not that person, but I damn well could be. I for sure could be, but I do feel like society, and I feel like to a degree, giving too much of a fuck about what people think about me is hindering me from that. And I wish that I could say that it wasn't, but it's simply the truth. And so that's something that I have to figure out with myself internally. But until that time comes, you know, y'all still gonna get this content, whatever it may be. But now that
all black, who cares? Whatever makes you happy, okay?
And an OnlyFans page, a paying OnlyFans page with a lot of subscribers that make me very happy. I'm just
let me tell you now, you have pretty feet, and the feet are like where it's at.
You know, one of my toenails actually broke the other day, and you know what's so funny? What's so fucking funny, right? The first thing that I thought, I was like, damn, my feet page going down the drain. Like, I just looked at my little broken toenail and I was like, damn. I can't even. Yep, that right toe, she caught something and she just broke right off. I'm like,
I have long toes, so I don't know.
I do too. I have long, my second finger is longer than my big finger.
Okay.
It don't matter.
Yeah, they don't care. They don't care.
You know, I could do an OnlyFans page.
I'm in about 5 Facebook groups for feet, and I have my own.
Yeah, I don't pay for the pedicure, so I mean, like, it's
no. But see, this is the thing, though. This is the thing, Shenice. I've heard that it's like different feet fetishes, right? So some of them really like, you know, the feet to be done, to be pedicure, you know, to be, you know, just all the way.
Like some crusty too.
Some like polished, some like crusty feet. Like, whatever your lane is, you can really prosper with the feet pics. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, B, I'm sorry. We might have to look into that one.
I mean, I'll show you.
That's hard for both of y'all.
Like, I'm telling y'all, it's the feet. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
Got different types of feet up in there, and them men go crazy. different types.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I getting a pedicure? You know?
Yeah.
And yes, ma'am.
I'm definitely looking to that feet shit. I'm serious because I mean it's just my fucking feet. It's just my feet. Shit.
I have a whole photo shoot set up just for my feet. That is
I don't be subscribed to your OnlyFans, sis. Send me that link. I'm just looking to see what's going on. I'm support you, okay? Tell me pocket. Yes.
All right.
So now we've got all the formal questions out of the way. I want to get back to what really started this conversation, which is the WAP song and video. And I'ma just keep saying it because the internet is an interesting place. I know that people are always filled with, a lot of rage and disbelief and stupid ass opinions, but I don't know. Like, you could not have told me that people were going to be mad about this song and video. You just couldn't tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
I was not ready for that. And so I just want to play for you guys. I don't know if you guys know who Leslie Jordan is. So viewers and listeners and guests, if you don't know who Leslie Jordan is, he is an old white man.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's an old white man.
Yes. Now I know who you're talking about.
He is an actor. Now, for me, where I have seen him most are on like multiple seasons of American Horror Story. He's like guest star on there, but he's kind of become like a viral sensation over the whole quarantine period because he just makes these really hilarious videos, and he's out there just being a funny old white man, and we're very much enjoying his presence. So I'm just gonna play for y'all his reaction to hearing WAP for the first time. And again, like I said, this is an old white man, and some of y'all are reacting literally just how he's doing. So let me see if I can turn this up and y'all can hear it.
Cardi B's new song, WAP. WAP, that's an acronym. Oh, Lord, no. I can't. Well, that is just shocking. Oh, my God, they some whores in his ass. Some whores. Well, that's just, oh, my Lord. I guess, well, I don't judge. To each his own. I guess every garbage can has its lid, but, oh.
So yes, okay, Leslie Jordan had his fill of WAP, and he was like, "Oh Lord." Okay, now listen, I understand if that was your first reaction, like, "Ooh, okay, well that's what y'all coming with," but it was the wanting to have this control over these Black women's bodies that really, really pissed me off, and it was the "what about the children" rhetoric that really pissed me off.
Raise your own damn kids. Like,
that part.
Sarah said,
you should be monitoring
raise
what
your
they're
own.
Right. First of all, here's what I have to say to the criticism. And this is where I said that I was probably going to lose all of my male followers and supporters because I'm really finna get in y'all ass, right?
Yes, it's right.
So number one, men, stay out of women's business. This right here, this video, these two artists, these ladies, if this is something that you're not all the way cool with, you support Cardi, you support Meg, you love pussy rap, because this is pussy rap. If you don't love pussy rap, this ain't none of your business. If Drake or Future or Jay-Z or whoever y'all niggas like drop something tomorrow, it may not be for me. Drake done dropped the song. I haven't even listened to it yet. It may not be for me, but I'm not about to get on the internet and express my feelings towards it. Like, I'm just not going to do that because it's not my business, right? So I want y'all to stay out of women's business. You know good and damn well that if Cardi B released a song, especially if Megan Thee Stallion released a song, women are going to go up for it. And it seems like men have a problem online, at least, with women having a good time and women being excited about something. Because one thing aside from, you know, like we were talking about earlier, the budget of the video, the video and the song itself, this was a really great rollout, which is something that I love to see from artists, right? Because we don't really get that like we used to, because we're in a social media age, and I guess they feel like, you know, they don't really have to do that like they used to. But I really love the whole rollout for this song and video. You know, there was the merch, and then there was the vinyl that you can purchase. There's a cassette tape that you can purchase. Before the video and song were released, Cardi and Megan went on YouTube and did like a whole chat about it. I just thought the whole thing was really cute, you know, regardless of the content of the song and video. I just thought that that was a really nice touch, especially because that's something we're not getting like we used to. But when I say I didn't see it coming, I don't think I can say that enough. But what was so interesting to me, and what men usually do when they see women being sexual, right? Especially being sexual in this way. You have women, you know, twerking, gyrating with their bare asses out. It's so funny to me that this song, which is two women talking about what they want men to do to them consensually, throwing all this ass, and these niggas are still pissed off about it. Which lets me know that men are really only interested in women when it's to their benefit. As long as these male rappers are talking about what they're doing with these hoes, and you know how they running through all these hoes and all the hoes that they have, it's cool. But when women are taking ownership of their bodies, they're showing it off, they're telling you what they want to do to you in the bedroom, then suddenly we have a problem. Because women are supposed to be sexual beings. Women aren't supposed to desire sex. Sex is not something that's supposed to be consensual for both parties. Sex is essentially supposed to happen to women. Sex is something you do to a woman, not with a woman. And so now y'all are upset. And I'm just trying to figure out why. Because you literally made a song for us to play. And Lord Jesus, I wish that this song had came out at a different time when we were outside. We were, you know, allowed to be, you know, at the brunch with our bottomless mimosas. And you telling me your girl off these bottomless mimosas come into the house, she put on WAP, and you're not finna be excited about it, my nigga? What is going on? Pete, how'd you get here?
Hey. I thought you like out of women's business. Sorry,
y'all who are listening, who are viewing, my producer just made a surprise appearance. Maybe that's because you agree with me, okay?
Business people.
Because we have talked about this offline, and he agrees. And it just really lets me know how deep patriarchy runs, because you are literally outraged. We've had decades upon decades. And I'm not just talking about the 90s. I'm not just talking about the 80s.
Centuries. Let's just say centuries, baby.
Right. Decades of nasty ass music. And this is what's got y'all pressed?
In the Caribbean, we had soca.
They
like
want
calypso talking about Julie Mango, give me some of your sweet Julie Mango, and this is the doctor open wide and all that kind of stuff. So
yes,
that's been happening for centuries, decades. Like I'm sure some of the slave songs probably talk about that too. They've got talking about picking cotton. Let me create that pussy. Like there's probably one or two. Somebody
you mentioned consent though. There's so many male rappers that talk about drugging females and fucking them. Like,
all right,
that doesn't bother you. Rick Ross, that doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. You rapping that, you bumping it in the car, you ride out You singing all the lyrics, but this bothers you? A lady talking about her coochie being wet and what she wants you to do to her coochie and park that Big Mac truck in the
little garage.
Bothers you. Megan spelling her name out while she riding you is bothering you. I thought y'all wanted us to ride.
Right.
I'm confused. Y'all be talking
about it. My knees
girl that say, hey,
like
I'm riding and I'm spelling my name and it's a problem.
It's when it's convenient. That's the thing. Like I said, you know, when all the women are doing it on social media, men are fine with it. But once their girlfriend starts doing it, then it's, oh no, it's all these double standards.
Right.
The rappers that got 15, 17 kids.
Future.
17.
Their God.
Thank you. Right.
Nobody said a peep about him. Well, first of all, if we talking about him, he talks about all this stuff in his songs. All the other rappers talking about, oh, I have to take a DNA test. We're talking about, like, that's unprotected sex. You getting these people pregnant, but you out here sleeping with the trobes and the what are we? So that's not sending a good message either. I mean, I don't want my son sitting out there listening to, but guess what? I'm going to monitor what my son is listening to. I'm going to monitor what my daughter is listening. Because, like, I'm not going to sit down there, even, like, the kids' TV shows. You have to watch because there be some little, you know, slick, hidden messages. And back in the day that we used to watch, you had racist remarks in those. You have sexual remarks. There's all these different things. And you should never let up on what you are doing when it comes to parenting because, you should be watching what they're doing more because we're in the digital age. So to me, it's just like, come on, guys. Let us have, and it's because we're owning it now that there's a big problem. Before, you know, and there's all these men that you want a successful woman. You want a woman that looks like a Coca-Cola bottle. Well, I mean, Coca-Cola bottles ain't even shaped that great. So we got to stop using that too. But like, Coca-Cola bottles built like a fridge. So to me,
no free endorsement though. I mean, but if Coca-Cola, you know, you want to sponsor the show, you know, whatever.
Three of us love Atlanta, Coca-Cola. You can do it. We look
on the curve.
Right. We can make that happen.
Right.
So, it's like going back to what you were saying though, Shenice, like parent your own goddamn kids.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really hate because I think it's just goofy. I'm sorry, I don't have a better word for it, but I think it's just goofy. Is people expecting for celebrities to be role models.
Thank you.
But you know what, though? Now, let me say this. Let me put this out there. I understand where people get that from because back in the day, that was the norm, right? Yeah. Like, even when we were growing up, certain celebrities were expected to be role models for their audience. And now, in the age that we are, we've gotten away from that. So... Yeah. Well, she does what she does. And let me say this too. Y'all give Cardi a lot, but Cardi be out here talking to these motherfucking politicians.
Listen.
Like, I don't hear more politicians than any other entertainer. She's a good mom. I saw a really of her on today. Y'all giving my sis a little too much. But at the same time, your own kids.
She rides for the people. And that's the thing. She will call out a lot of that stuff. And unfortunately, a thing that Black people like to do as well is call people out on their, you're not, Black. You're not as Black as you're portraying to be. You're doing stuff for Black culture. But then you want everyone to ride for you when it comes to police brutality and all these things. Well, you have someone that is Afro-Latina, right? And you need to accept that she's writing for us.
Yeah.
She's there speaking up about stuff. She's saying, look, coronavirus, people getting sick, they can't afford this. Anything she's talking about the issues. And she put on that court wig.
Yeah. Yeah.
And bring us,
My girl is doing it.
I will vote for Cardi because guess what? She gonna make
do no
sure.
worse than Trump. And that's just a black
She would be way better, I feel like, because she's extremely smart. She actually
It's just the way that she articulates herself.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way she articulates herself.
Yeah.
And to me, we accept a lot less from other people. And it's like, give the good sis her credit where it is due. She
was big.
In fact, it's just the way that she articulates herself. And I think that, you know, sis articulate a little bit better. We'd probably, women gonna respect her, men not gonna respect her. Never mind. Sis, don't even try. Don't even try. You're gonna waste time and effort with big words when these niggas ain't gonna care. Like,
they don't know what I mean.
Meanwhile, T.I. is a spokesperson for all of these niggas. Can you even vote, bruh?
Oh God! Now, speaking of influence, they're talking about the song "Oh My Daughter," da da da. But we came up on Heathcliff Huxtable, and y'all are terrible dads. Why didn't that influence you?
Ooh, woo!
I want to talk about influence. Why did Heathcliff teach you to be a better father? Or is it only your daughters being influenced by female rappers when they talking about, you know, sexual liberation and what they like to do? You had you had Carl Winslow.
Okay, you had y'all niggas still terrible dads.
Still terrible.
You are right.
Uncle Phil like
no. Not even on the fact of still terrible dads
without a father. You know what I'm saying?
Also,
you know, but
they're also just terrible to women in general. Not even terrible dads. They're terrible co-workers because there's a sexual harassment. They out here. And the whole notion that, men talk less than, no, y'all be talking more about women.
Over talking women. Yep.
Stop mansplaining everything.
That part.
Like, it's so many different things that we just say, y'all need to go on a retreat or something. Get yourself centered and, you know, but for me, it is in some ways, because while we do, even if we say, like, you know, this person isn't goals, right? If we are following a lot of these people and stuff, male or female, black, white, Puerto Rican, Haitian, don't matter. It is the fact that, and I've heard one of my favorite podcasters talk about this as well. We're in like that era where everything is manifestation, and what you fill up your timeline with, things that you see all day, every day, even if it like subconsciously, you're manifesting those things. You're going to become a lot of what you see. So in some ways, I am like, if that's not what you want, then don't have that on your timeline. Don't have it, whatever. But for me, I don't mind because it's also that positive sexuality and stuff, and it's just, you know, you know, sometimes some mornings I don't feel like getting up and going to work, or I don't feel like getting up and being a boss ass babe. I gotta, but I might put on a little Rihanna because my girl, and
a Caribbean queen.
I don't know what that means, sis.
Yeah, Hendrix.
I'm waiting because I got Rihanna. This is coming from a woman that tried to shame Cardi B.
Look, we gonna skip past that part, right? For now, we're acknowledging it. But for me, it is like sometimes I have to play her music and stuff like that because, and let's not pretend like some of the other major, out of the, you know, big, what is it, 5 or 4, whatever, like they haven't shamed Cardi B and Meg either. Some of it's just because they're working with her now because they see that she's big. Right. It's, we cool now. But remember, it was, they ratchet. There's this, there's that.
Yeah.
You know,
like I said, women will do it to each other.
All she does is show her ass. Like, there's this exactly. So for me, some days it's just okay. I don't want to be someone that is walking around with a bra that's not fitting me or my ass hanging out. But some days it's nice to hear something talking about how, like, it's, you know what, today I needed to hear that, you know, like Cheers, Rihanna song Cheers. People are going to talk whether you're doing bad or good. That right there. And it's like, you know what, some days I was being hard on myself because I'm trying to live up to a certain standard, or society's going to look at you. They don't care. You hang out with too many girls, you're a lesbian. You hang out with too many guys, you're a whore. So you really can't win. You just have to do things for you.
Exactly.
It is, yes, while we do have to acknowledge that what we fill our lives up with, we can manifest, whether consciously or subconsciously. We also have to acknowledge that, shit, these people is doing something for the culture, for us. Some days, when I'm not the biggest Beyonce fan. I love her, but I'm not like, oh my God, I'm going to buy every ticket. I don't care. That's not me. But Homecoming. When I need inspiration, I put that on and I get to work. Because just looking at what she put her mind and body through to reach her goal, to make this happen. And she acknowledged shit. She's not going to do that again. But sometimes I'm there like, you got to push yourself through it. You need, and whatever your inspiration is, find that, use that, because you just don't care. So,
and you know what? I really love that you brought that up, because like I was saying before, like, it seems like whenever these female rappers come out and they give us, you know, a song for the moment, you know, that's when these men start talking. They get real chatty, and it's weird, but it's because I know they don't like to see women having fun. But like you're saying, you need that. You need that type of encouragement. And I'm gonna be honest. Going back to, you know, our first question, you know, did you grow up in a sex positive household? No. And music was actually a part of that. When I was younger, I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music. I only listened to gospel music. And it wasn't until I got about in like 5th grade that I even really discovered rap. Well, actually, no. Like I was telling y'all earlier about, you know, the box. That's how I discovered rap, actually. So I discovered a little bit earlier than that. But still, I was sheltered, and I wasn't allowed to, you know, listen to, you know, Lil Kim or Foxy Brown. I wasn't even allowed to listen to Trina, but, you know, thank God for the box and for that video. But
really? Wow.
No.
My first word or phrase, whatever, was from that that's the song from, I think it was the 90s, maybe before that, about the Martinez. He was someone political, and it was Martinez. And my uncle and his friend, Pete, you probably know it, but that was, you know, I was in the back, my little shades on in the car seat, can't say nothing else, but you know, and so I knew rap and I knew all these things. I could listen to all the secular music. It was just that, to me, it was like, okay. And I was there singing, "What's Love Got to Do with It?" Like I was coming home from Ike, but I didn't know what the words mean. I was singing it with all this soul, and you know, my auntie'd be like, you're too young to be singing that. My mom's like, girl, shut up. It's just a song. Like,
I was shit. What? No, not around this way.
I didn't know what it meant, but to me, I was there.
Secular music, okay? But it's like, you know, when I got older, especially now as an adult, it makes me feel better to listen to women rapping than men. Because going back to what I was saying, really and truly, this whole conversation, right, it can be summed up in what I'm about to say. And it's about sex being power, right? We know that sex is a power struggle. Even in our day-to-day lives, you know, when we're having sex with somebody, especially if we're having casual sex with somebody like we talked about earlier, it's about who cares more. And whoever cares less is the one with the power. And you're holding that above the other person.
That's true.
And even in, you know, we're in this era of Me Too and calling out sexual predators and offenders. And people, I notice a lot of people always saying when it comes to those cases, like, oh, well, you famous and why you can't find somebody that you want to fuck? You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily about that. It's about power. It's about these people being in powerful positions and holding something over the next person.
Right.
Have sex with me or else blank. Have sex with me or you'll be blacklisted from Hollywood. Have sex with me or you won't get this role, right? And even though we don't live in that world and we're not, Hollywood stars or anything like that, the same shit happens in our everyday lives.
Yeah,
I was a lot of these women who are listening and watching women take a hold of their own sexuality, and they're not okay with it because, like I said earlier, they feel like sex is something that's supposed to happen to women. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to smash her. I took her virginity. And the ways in which that we just talk about sex in general, it's almost like something is being done to us. Like something is literally being taken from us.
And not with,
Yeah. And I don't have another way. I guess I would just say stuff. I lost my virginity. I had sex with someone. I don't really know a better phrase for that. I'm gonna work on it. But again, it's just like sex is something that happens to women. And Cardi B, Megan are not the first women, not in hip hop, not in pop, not in blues, not in jazz, not in any genre of music to be the first women talking about what they want to do with their coochies. They're just not. They're simply not. So I'm not understanding in 2020, when we're supposed to be more liberal than we've ever been, why this is still an issue. And I also have a really big problem with folks bringing up, people like Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill or Missy Elliott, because baby, Missy Elliott, number one. The other ladies too, don't get me wrong, but Missy fucking Elliott, what part of her discography are you listening to?
Who's Tyrone? Wasn't there a whole song about Tyrone?
Hendrix, what you saying?
Something crazy. The only thing they must have heard with Missy is sexual.
Must have.
Extremely. And you cannot throw no names out there. Like a dude the other day, he tweeted me, he was like, Tony Braxton says, I was like, have you listened to Tony?
Tony Braxton?
Tony B. Braxton.
Tony Braxton. Tony Braxton.
That Tony. Maybe I should Scott. Okay. Braxton is who he tried to in the defense. I'm like, boo, you can't.
Okay.
No.
Jill talking to the microphone, Scott.
I what with the dude today about Jill Scott. I was like, bruh, she's super sexual. Just because she does it with
you heard Crown Royal?
Crown Royal, your hands on my hips pull me right back to you. I catch that thrust, give it right back to you. Your diesel engine, I'm squirting my oil on. Come on, bro. I was like, do you listen to music or do you just skim through it?
Are you at this point?
Yes.
The whole point is men and women that aren't comfortable or have not been able to do the same, have not been able to do the same, they're upset about women now reclaiming their sexuality, sex, and reclaiming our time.
Yes, because the vaccine.
For centuries, it has been taken from us. Let's not forget, we were used as good breeders and all these things, and a gift from Master's friend. All of these things come into play. But because we're reclaiming everything that we want now, and it's, this is who I am, this is who I'm going to be. You know what? Shit. I learned that these parts that you love, that you like, I like them too. I like these things. Now I'm going to have fun with it. People are upset about that. Men, women, they're upset about it. And shit, maybe if y'all reclaim yours too, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
The women that are upset about it, I'm like, why, sis? Are you dry, sis? Like, why are you mad about that?
But I 100% agree with you, Hendrix, but I guess in my own journey to healing, sometimes I look at those women and I have pity. Like, sometimes I look and be just like, bitch, you so dumb. but other times I really look and have empathy and pity because I know that they're being affected by the same stuff that we talked about tonight.
Yes.
So they are still in the headspace of, if I do X, I'm gonna be labeled a hoe. I care about what people in society thinks about me. And I mean, I know we're supposed to be grown. I know we're supposed to grow out of that, but that's a very hard thing to do. So for women who are like that, it's just like, yeah, I wish you would really like, you know, like eliminate yourself from this conversation, but I know this is what's happening in your mind. Like you were saying earlier, Shenice, like your mental health and your sexuality, that does connect. It definitely connects. And if you're not comfortable with your sexuality, if you're not comfortable in your own body, yeah, you're going to be saying, you know, the same stuff that these men are saying. You're going to be on their side. I get that. It's not good, but I see where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Heal that. You got to heal that for sure. And I also think, you know, going back talking about Missy Elliott, I think the reason why people, and even Jill Scott, I think the reason why a lot of people don't really register their lyrics as sexual is because they're not outwardly showing it. You know, we ain't never seen Missy or Jill, you know, throwing ass in a video. We ain't never seen their bare ass. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's
even more than just like, okay, they got sexual lyrics, but they're not outwardly showing it. You know what I mean? For a long time too, even like Janelle Monae, you know, she had on her black and white suits, which was her uniform, as she calls it. But I really, really love Dirty Computer, which I feel like was her coming out party. And she really became, you know, a little more sexual. You know, she came forward and told the world that she was pansexual. And we got a little bit more of her than we usually do because she's a pretty private person. But I feel like she really put herself out there with that project. And it's my favorite one of hers because I can feel the freedom in the music, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want from my artists. I don't want you to be stifled.
Django Jean is
whoever you feel like your fans should be. It should be you. That's what makes the music good. That's what makes the projects really impactful. And I don't know what we're going to do for these men who are mad about free ass. I don't. That's new to me. That's weird.
So you looked at ass and you thought to write a think piece. Like you saw Megan Thee Stallion's ass, her beautiful ass, and the first thing you thought about was let me tweet some dick.
Right.
What is wrong with you, bro? Like, no. I was looking like the lion. Like, damn, you saw how the lion looked at her ass in that video?
Yes.
The damn lion was mesmerized.
I just a
see, that's the thing.
Morsel of ass, please.
Like they didn't. Where were these think pieces when all these other issues are happening? All these other men. Where were the think pieces when it came to R. Kelly and stuff? People are making these jokes. Where was
still listening to R. Kelly?
Where was the think piece when what's his face shot Megan a foot?
Girl, they still don't believe her. She had to show her
foot today on Instagram.
I didn't see that.
She showed her foot. She showed the stitches.
Show her foot. People to
and that's what a lot of people are saying too. You know, it's like, okay, you're giving her all this criticism about this song, but are you going to? And I mean, I know that the details are not confirmed about, you know, everything that happened, but y'all were so much less concerned about her being harmed than her making this music that was intended to bring her fans and herself some joy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're clearly focused on the wrong thing. You clearly don't like seeing women in this setting. And I would just encourage all the men who have something to say about it to listen to what we're saying here and digest that.
Yeah.
You know, and full transparency. All love to 21st Men, who are another MPN podcast, you know, all love to them. But when I was asking for guests for this show, because I knew I wanted to talk about this after all of the aftermath was said and done. I see Hendrix, you laughing your ass off, you petty. But they asked if they could, you know, come on this episode and discuss it with us. And I said no. I said no. And it wasn't even to be petty or
Ooh,
Thanks.
I would.
You know, I love all of our MPN family. I have no problem with any of the men on that platform, but this I want to be a conversation amongst Black women about an issue that Black women face. Because again, going back to something Shenice said earlier, our bodies have been used and commodified by everybody else except us. We have been mammies and, you know, have breastfed white slave owners' children. We have been raped, beaten, taken advantage of by the white man and by our own. And the time that we try to reclaim our own bodies for ourselves, now people have a problem with it. I have a problem with that.
Right.
And so I wanted to talk among women who look like me, who have similar experiences, who can, you know, I'm not even saying who are agreeing with what I'm saying, because I don't need to be agreed with. Like, that doesn't feed my ego. What's feeding me is the fact that I'm able to have this conversation with people who have similar experiences, and I just didn't want to debate my own humanity.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Why do we always have to debate and fight as women?
Yeah, I'm not
doing everything, girl.
This should never have to be a topic. It should literally be.
Yeah. I just wasn't in the mood for it. And again, no shade whatsoever. I just saw the tweets and I saw that, you know, they were ready to kind of like debate about it. And I was like, this for me though is not up for debate. Like, this is my life. You know, the questions that I ask are derived from not just my own experiences, but what I know other Black women have gone through too. And I knew that y'all would be able to speak about it, and we did. This is something that maybe a Black man would not understand, because men, period, are more than encouraged to explore their sexuality.
And I was 21st Man Podcast. I was the one that shaded y'all in those tweets and told y'all to stay out of women's business because y'all were all up in it. She wasn't even talking to y'all. So I love y'all, but I had to be the one to do it. She wasn't gonna do it, but I did it for her. Stay out of women's business.
Like that sometimes. I was really trying to keep it cute. You know, that was really my intention. Like I said, no shade. I love them. But this is women's business. Like, this is what I'm talking about. You cannot be in women's business. This is something all three of us, right? All three of us have like experiences, and a man is just not going to understand that.
And imagine we're all different age groups. Not drastic, but all different age groups, all from different places.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, Jacksonville might be the one common denominator here. Well, other than our Blackness, our experiences are similar. Like, why is that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I couldn't invite anybody, even if it had been a white woman. Okay, you're still a woman, but there's still a side of this that you're not going to understand as a Black woman, right? So I'm with folks here that look like me, that have experienced life most likely the way I've experienced it, and we need to have this conversation. I'm not finna debate nothing with nobody. I'm not doing it. There is a time and place for debate. There are other conversations we can debate, but not this one. Not this one right here. Wasn't gonna do it.
We stand with you.
I fuck with y'all. That's why y'all
love y'all though. But she would say, but I would. You know, I would.
This is my third episode with Stallion. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh yeah, so this
Yep. You've been here right. Sis, y'all been hanging in. This is your second, I think, Crystal.
Yep.
Your second. I love to have y'all through because I know that you're going to tell the truth, and I needed people who were going to tell the truth on this episode. Because
like-minded individuals that you can discuss things with.
Right.
That's why I had this conversation with someone last night talking about people that need to go to therapy. Because they got unresolved issues, and you can't even communicate like this. It's gonna be a
right.
I don't need someone that's gonna agree with me. That's not me.
Exactly.
You have your point. I need to see where you're coming from. I might not agree with you at the end of the day, or I might agree with you depending on, the argument that you present.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to communicate, and I think there's a lot of growth in that as Black women as well, because we can be ratchet. We can turn up, one time for the 904 and the 345. But we can have these. Wait, what?
904. 904.
Oh, that's how we gotta say it. 904.
904.
It's gonna take her a little minute. She got the accent, man. Just let her be.
And she doesn't even want to be talking about, I like her accent.
I love your accent. It's beautiful.
Right. We are very much
904.
When I first heard you talk, I didn't know you had an accent. I love your accent. But 904. 904.
I'm gonna get there because
she don't get there.
You're right, and I'm gonna even be able to text it because I can, I'm white. I can, it probably still sound a little different, but I'm getting there, but the conversation, it's always good to be able to have conversation with people that, even though you come from different walks of life or backgrounds, you can have those conversations, because a lot of people you can't. And I just be looking like, girl, you dumb.
Right.
Why these niggas keep calling you hoes and all these names, because we can't have conversations. We can't do this. You believe that you're supposed to be submissive and all this stuff. But that's what floats your boat and runs your household. But I know that if my man or someone, whatever the case is, does me dirty or cheats on me, whatever the case is, I live my life the way that I wanted to, and I live my relationship the way that I wanted to. So it's the fact that, I didn't submit and do these things, and I didn't show my ass because my husband didn't want me to. No, if I want to show this ass, you're going to take this ass how you get it, okay?
I know that's right.
Because at the end of the day, they tell you no makeup, no this, no that. And I've been in a relationship like that. You can't cut your hair. You can't do this. You can't do that. But the girl that you cheat on someone with is, slathered in makeup, and it's...
We ain't getting from nobody.
You gotta do what makes you happy. I will forever say that, because shit, on the up from
100%.
here.
100%. Listen, ladies, literally the moral of this story is, if you want to shake your ass, if you want to show your ass, whatever it is that you want to do that thing. Please, do that thing. And I'm serious when I'm saying that, because I don't want any more of us to be stifled by society. I'm seeing it chip away more and more as we go on. And I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see the newer generation seems to be more secure in their sexuality. But, for those of us who, I don't want to call us older folks, because, I don't think I'm old. But, for those of us who didn't get to experience this openness, I hope that through this conversation, through you having conversations, with your own squad, that you're able to kind of see the areas in which, you may have some restrictions, on the way that you want to present yourself, or if you're not comfortable with something, you're able to ask yourself why, and just continue to have these conversations. And please have them without men. Please, for the love of God, have them without men. Have them
unless
with girlfriends or something, because
unless after the fact you're trying to tell them, this is where we stand, this is what we're gonna do. If you don't like it, then go sleep with your friends, okay? Y'all be dumb together, keep each other warm, because this is how, look, to me, it's just you guy friends can keep you warm if that's what you want. They do. Let us live
that part. That part. Because if you're just so disgusted by women and their newfound sexual liberation, you can maybe find somebody else to warm your bed. I don't know. Just I'm just saying.
Mind the business that pays you.
Let women be.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally the moral of the story, is let women be.
Just leave us alone.
So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on. If you're listening, there will be a message from our sponsor. If not, and you're watching, we're going to go ahead and get into the very next segment. Okay?
Yes. Thank you for having us.
So, if you're new here, our next segment is called Hip Hop Healing, okay? So that means that I am going to take a few lyrics from a hip hop song and turn it into a mantra for you guys because, you know, a lot of people give hip hop shit. Like they give it like some real shit saying it's not real music and blah, 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 and whatever. White people say that. But if you really listen to a lot of these hip hop songs, there's always something in there for you to feel better, for you to feel rich and extravagant, to make you feel like you're that bitch or whatever it is that you need for the day. So since we're talking about WAP, the WAP video and the WAP song, today's hip hop healing comes from fucking WAP. Duh. Like what else was I going to choose for our hip hop healing for today? So what I want you to do is to, you know, close your eyes, get centered, and repeat the following lyrics in your mind's eye.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is our mantra for the week. This pussy is wet. Come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm surprised. Let's role play. I'll wear a disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck in this little garage. Make it cream, make me scream. Out in public, make a scene. I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your hip hop healing for this week. Because Cardi said, let me tell you how I got this ring. I don't cook, I don't clean. I said, now, bitch, this is going to upset the pick-me's, and I'm here for it, okay? I was like, yes, ma'am.
I cook and clean. Maybe I should stop so I can get a ring. I hear you, Cardi.
I don't feel like doing that right now. Can I? Yes, because I am a woman. I don't feel like doing it.
For my Caribbean people, you already know. Lady Saw made that sound like
Lady Saw.
Okay.
Don't get started on.
Let's come on now. So
I ain't doing it no more because you already told us how she did that ring, honey. Okay.
Let's just get it. Okay.
I know the pygmies heard that and they were furious. I know they were furious. If you don't know who the pygmies are, it's women mostly on Twitter who are always kind of posting about what they would do or could do for a man. It's usually, you know, very domesticated activities trying to make them seem better than other women in some regard. Right. So for you pick me that think that your cooking and cleaning is gonna grab you a nigga, let me tell you, it's sucking and fucking, like Miss Cardi said, okay? That's gonna get you the man that you want. You ain't gotta do one of those things, but that's how she got that ring. I really did fuck with that.
Hendrix, you said something about that on Twitter though. Was
yeah, what you say, girl? What you say about
it's
that?
not the fact that it's like you know, a pick me. Sometimes it's just we think different too. Shit. So if you want to call me a pick me, but for this, no, I'm not with them on that.
No. No, I do see a lot of the pick me's, but a lot of times, I mean, I be on both sides. Sometimes I agree with the women, and I don't.
I agree. Yeah.
I agree with the men on certain topics that you feel like I shouldn't be on the women's side. Like, no, not all the time.
Yeah, same for me. Yeah. You know, I'm able to be neutral, but for this conversation, I'm on the side of my women folk, my black women to be specific.
Don't ask me what I bring to the table. I'm getting on top of the motherfucking table.
Yes, yes, y'all. So I hope that the ladies especially take that mantra with them this week and feel like you're that bitch. Oh, also, let me see if I can find it on my Spotify. Y'all give me just a second, okay? Because I got to sort through some things. But there is a specific playlist that I listen to. God, I really want to find that for you guys. If I don't find it in the next minute or so, I'm going to link it in the episode description. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put it in the description box. But there is a playlist that I listen to on Spotify, and shit, I can't remember what it's called. First of all, I'm a little drunk right now, so that's probably why I can't remember. But basically it's a playlist of black female rappers, and it is so dope. Like, it is really dope. Like you were saying earlier, Shenice, if you need to wake up in the morning and feel like you're that bitch, this is the playlist that you need to listen to. I'm going to find it for you guys. I'm going to put the name out there because I need for y'all to be playing that. It's got, you know, all of the new girls. You know, it's got your May, your Cardi, your Flo Milli. Shout out to Flo Milli because she is really fucking shit up. I love it. It's got your Mulatto. It has all of the new girls on there. So if you want to check that out, if you're interested in some new rap, I'm definitely going to make sure that I put that in the description box for you guys so that you can listen to it, because it has some really, really dope shit on there. And I want to make sure that you guys get that in your routine, okay? But with all that being said, we have reached the end of our episode, which I feel like was a dope ass episode.
It was.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, it's me, right?
Yeah.
But of course, thank you to the both of you for joining me. I always love having you guys on. Before we go though, make sure that you guys plug all of your Instagram and Twitter handles and all of that good stuff. So Hendrix, I'm going to start with you. Where can the folks at home find you?
You can find me on Instagram. You can find my show, Shit Talk No Fragrance Podcast, at SHT Talk No FRAGR. Also on Twitter, you can follow me at Hendrix Monae. Put that shit together, no dash, no space. Hendrix Monae on Instagram and Twitter as well.
All right, cool. Shenice, where can the good folks at home find you?
You guys can find me at shenice.lian on Instagram. I ain't telling y'all my Twitter.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Yeah, you know, that's I'm gonna start charging for my Twitter. But yeah, Shenice and you can usually find like all my other ats and whatever on there. But thank you for having me again. This was fun. You know, turn up and brunch once I get back to Jacksonville. If came out, back up, you know.
Because, I mean, you know, shit is open, and Florida clearly doesn't give a fuck about COVID cases. We didn't reach like 10,000 deaths. That's what Twitter told me earlier today, and I was just like, oh, so niggas just around here dying. Okay, welcome to Florida. It's a mess over here. But again, I definitely appreciate both of you for coming through. I love having y'all as guests. Like I said earlier, I know that y'all are for sure going to tell the truth, which is why I invited you on this particular episode. As far as where you guys can find me, you can find the show's Instagram at Strong Friend Check-In on Instagram. You can also find the show on Twitter at Strong Friend Pod. Okay, I'm not going to give y'all my personal Twitter. If you find me on there, you know, I'm probably block you or whatever because it's my safe space and I just can't have everybody up in my business. I'm not doing that in 2020, okay?
Hey, you can follow my Cash App to get it.
Okay. Yeah, you might have to pay me for that shit or something. So you can follow the show definitely on Instagram and Twitter. We're good for that, but you don't find me, okay? Now, if you do want to find my personal Instagram, you can do that at authentically_ASB on Instagram. Yeah, you can do that. Also, check out my blog at authenticallyasb.com. I haven't been on there very much lately, but I did plan on making a video soon, so watch out for that. Also, I like to promote the fact that if you need therapy or if you're looking for a therapist, please check out the resources page on Authentically ASP.
And you have an episode coming up with Marquise this weekend.
I sure do.
And you guys are going to have a therapist on there, right?
I sure will. Yes, I am going to be on an episode.
You're safe here.
You are safe here with Marquise Walker, who is
respect Mr. Walker.
Shenice's boo. Okay, it's her boo. And what he's doing is actually really dope. He released his project, You Are Safe Here, and he's doing podcast episodes for each track. And I will be on there Saturday night at 8 with Ali J, who was a guest on my episode. What is therapy really like? So we'll both be on there together with Marquise. You've seen or heard Marquise on my very first episode. So yeah, definitely look out for that. Hendrix, you look like you wanted to say something. What's up?
Yeah, you see, I gave my personal Twitter because I am with the shits. Please come at me, bro. I am.
Well,
it's Hendrix Monae put it together.
I didn't have enough to drink, guys.
Well, she said it, not me. So y'all heard it here first.
Whatever you want to do, these Twitter fingers is serious.
They
in them DMs for that OnlyFans. But in them DMs,
do you have OnlyFans or maybe
you get a referral code so that we referring people to you. That we got like
y'all like feet. If y'all like feet, you can find me on MO Hennae. MOHENAE 2.
Okay. All right.
I ain't plugging the other one yet. That's a little extra. But yeah.
I ain't mad because listen, get your money. I need to make me account swiftly. Probably after this show so I can stop talking about it and finally be about it. But yes, y'all, that is where you can find me. Also, I want to let you know that the podcast is available at the following locations, okay? You can find me on Buzzsprout, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and SoundCloud. So pretty much wherever you can find all of your other favorite podcasts, I will be there also. Please make sure that you download, like, comment, share, and leave a review. I would love some reviews. That would be really awesome to receive. So yeah, you can pretty much listen to me anywhere. I'm going to, this is actually the first recorded episode that I've done. Sorry, that's a lie, because I did the other one for the Fly Socks and Tees event that we had earlier, actually not earlier, but last month. So I'm going to actually create a YouTube page for Strong Friend Check-In because I think that this is actually really dope. I know most of y'all will probably be listening, but for those of y'all who are viewing, I think this is a really dope setup, and I'm going to start making more videos of my episodes so you can check them out on YouTube as well. So pay attention to that coming soon. If you follow me on my social media handles, I'll have the links and such for all of that, so you can find me there. But that's pretty much it for this episode of Strong Friend Check-In. Glad to be back with y'all. Glad to have had y'all on this episode. I thank you so much for your opinions and your input. Y'all are always great guests, of course. That's why you keep coming back. Okay? That's why y'all keep coming back.
I appreciate you for inviting me again. Let me know anytime you need me, man.
Of course.
Thank you, ladies. It was nice catching up as well.
Yes, for sure. I'm glad we were able to pull you in all the way from the Cayman Islands. Okay,
I appreciated it. It makes me feel better. It's good for my mental health because
yes.
And bye, Pete. I miss being in the studio having them long ass conversations.
Pete has been manning this whole situation. Yes, he is here. He is strong. He agrees.
Good to have conversations about.
Okay. I know
He's
that.
always good to have conversations with. That's why no one ever leaves the studio when they're supposed to leave the studio.
Oh my God, yes.
Right.
Yes, we're probably about to have a whole hour-long conversation after this. But yes, y'all, this has been it for another episode of Strong Friend Check-In. I will check you guys out later. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Out of here.
Time for your mind.